The following is a Papi Chulo Radio original program. The views and opinions expressed in the commentaries and/or interviews in the following program are solely those of the individuals and are not views of Papi Chulo Radio, its parent, affiliate, or subsidiary companies.
We lived in the murder house, we escaped the asylum, we protected the coven, we attended the freak show, we checked into the hotel, we had a Roanoke nightmare, we joined the cult, we stopped the apocalypse, we survived 1984, now we will watch the double feature. Welcome to Are You Afraid Double Feature, Part 1, Red Tide. A PapiChuloRadio.com original series, Papi Chulo Radio, celebrating a decade of podcasting excellence. Today is Thursday, August 26th, 2021, and I'm your host, Jeffrey Arauz. During this podcast, we'll be having an in-depth discussion on FX's American Horror Story, Double Feature, Part 1, Red Tide. That's a whole lot. Please welcome my co-hosts, Madison Fitzpatrick.
Hey everybody, welcome back.
Odina Gonzales.
Hi.
Priscilla Rocha.
Hey everybody.
And Vinnie Hatcher.
Hello.
Spooky. Let's jump into our recap of Season 10, Episode 1, which was titled Cape Fear, and aired on August 25th on FX. Here's the official synopsis of the episode. A struggling writer, his pregnant wife, and their daughter move to an isolated beach town for the winter. Once they're settled in, the town's true residents begin to make themselves known. Bum, bum, bum. A little dramatic flair. All right, everybody. It's been 2 years since the mothership aired, point blank in the period. So it's been a long time since we've talked about AHS proper, not that spinoff. So let's get into this. I will say this. I was reading on social media this two-part, 2-ish hour premiere of AHS, where they showed 2 episodes, was incredibly well received. I'll see if my fellow co-hosts agree with that. So let's start talking about the setup and the characters, because we're introduced to the main characters immediately at the start of the episode. The main characters, the family that we are following to Cape Cod, Provincetown, P-Town, our father, struggling writer, Harry Gardner. We've got his wife, Doris, who is an aspiring interior designer. And then we've got a child violin prodigy named Alma. First impressions on them is what I want to get first. I will say, sort of as a point of personal privilege, thank you so much for AHS for giving Lily Rabe the headliner role that she deserves. Lily Rabe has always been fantastic on American Horror Story, but she's always been like a secondary or tertiary character. She was a villain once, and now she's a headliner. So I just really enjoyed that. I just wanted to sort of say that out the gate first. So Priscilla, your thoughts on the Gardners. What were your first impressions?
I felt that they were a close-knit family. I felt that, like, right off the bat, that I liked Doris. I thought that she was a protective mom, that she was a really good mom, that she wasn't just some, like, flippant, like, oh, I'm just doing this, like, decorating as a side hobby or something like that. Like, no, she was actually serious about it. I thought that her husband was, like, I didn't know about him. Like when he was like doing his best to like protect the family, and he'd like kind of forget to do certain things, like forget to forget to lock the sun door when like the Lester came out of nowhere. I was just kind of like, okay, I I guess, but he's doing his best, so he's a better dad than most American Horror Stories we've seen. The
Mhm.
daughter, on the other hand, the daughter's a creep. What the hell is up with that little homeschooled child? This is why little kids should be homeschooled. Oh my god, they
I
come
know
out to
all
be
homeschooled kids are
creeps.
creeps. No
Oh my
offense to all the
god.
homeschooled kids that might be listening, but you're a creep.
It's true though. Like she spies on everything that her parents do, and she says weird and creepy things, and she counts roadkill, and I don't know, she fits perfectly with AHS, but as a kid, I'm like, my God, you guys raised such a freak child. What the hell? This comes from being raised in New York or something? I don't know. What the hell?
Yeah, it's New Yorkers. Yes. Now here's the thing, and I don't want to put the spotlight on you, Vinny, and I don't need you to speak for all the Caucasian people, but do Caucasian people not lock up until like is the last person awake that the person that locks up? Because I was very confused because I was like, Doris had gone to bed, the daughter is asleep. I don't expect the daughter to lock the doors and lock the windows and stuff. But it's like you wait until like until like you are the only one up that you lock everything up, all the doors and all the windows and stuff. Like I don't. Yeah.
No.
Okay. Maybe it's a
I
horror.
definitely think it's a stupid thing. Like
Maybe it's a
I mean,
Caucasian horror movie trope.
it must be because yeah, like when I was growing up, I mean, we always had our house locked. We had an alarm system. My parents were in the law, so maybe that was what made me the exception. But for me now, like the only way our front door is left unlocked is if like one of us ran to the dumpster real quick to drop the trash off. But other than that, like I live near DC, yo. I am not going to leave my front door unlocked. Now I live in Reno, even more so. I have never left my door unlocked unless it was by accident. And usually I'm checking it at the end of the night. But yeah, even if I lived in the country, I still would keep it locked at all times.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
think it must be an American thing.
Maybe. Well,
Because
Vinny's
here in
American.
Canada, we leave our doors unlocked for like majority of the time.
Canadians
Yeah.
leave. Oh, maybe then. Okay, the gardeners are really Canadians.
I mean, like we lock our doors when we go to bed. Usually, yes, it is the last person who's awake because if they need to go outside or whatever, or need to go to the garage or I don't know, they just are the ones who are supposed to check all the locks and make sure everything's good. But sometimes like even my neighbors, they leave their doors unlocked when they go out for walks and stuff. Like we just don't think of that.
All right, Odina, you're in Canada too. Do you not lock things up?
I mean, I'm biracial.
Oh, okay, so there's a
So I
difference.
mean, I like my dad loves to act like he's Batman and he's like lock the doors at all points in the day. So like I don't have that problem. Yeah, I found that kind of sus myself. I was like, why would you just leave your doors open? Just like walk in if you want, especially if your wife's been like, yeah, I saw this creepy like guy chase after me. But I think it was really well done because I genuinely thought like those creature things were gonna like pop up in and just start eating people. So I lock my doors, but evidently the white people of American Horror Story don't.
Okay, there you go. Let's talk about the creepy people. So the first thing that I want to discuss is the first major incident that the gardeners experience. And it's when Doris and Alma are walking through the streets of P-Town and these white, bald, male freaks end up chasing them. There's no other name for them. They do get kind of a name in the second episode, but we aren't there yet, so I'm just going to call them white bald male freaks. They get chased, and that was like the first thing that really wigs them out. Madison, talk to me about that incident. What did you think of the creepy people? And would you have been as freaked out as Doris was?
Okay, so first of all, just speaking on the characters, number one, like we were talking about, I actually love the characters so far. Just this family, it's very real, like their type of living is very now. So it's kind of nice to see, you know, because we've seen Freak Show, we've seen Coven, we've seen like that is very like in the past or something like that. Like besides Cult, we haven't really had anything that's really right now.
Well, Coven,
and
well,
well,
yeah,
but
no,
like
yeah,
relatable.
yeah. No, you're
Relatable
saying in recent
that
times,
sense, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So relatable in that sense. So I really like the characters. But yeah, when these bald-headed freaky people started showing up, yeah, I would be out of there. And especially, you know, as we learn, maybe the chief of the police chief of the town or whatever isn't, you know, buying it. But I don't like these people. Like, out of everything I'm sure that we're going to be talking about this episode, they're the least thing that I like about the season so far. I don't like the look of them. I think it looks very tacky yeah, I think the whole like, you know, moving around like you're a zombie type thing and cracking and like it's very creepy, but I just feel like it's so out of place to what we've seen so far in this season.
That's interesting. You are a picky bitch, though, which I think you will admit.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
She just has taste.
Yeah, there you go.
I just know what is perceived. And,
Oh, okay.
You know, so.
I like it. That's a good answer. She is the one though that will rave about an episode and then give it a 5. You know that's true about yourself.
Yes.
Yes. And then she'll shit on an episode and give it a 10. So she is the wild card of the AHS podcasting universe. So okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting. Vinny, I want to get your hot take on the people because clearly Maddie Fitz, she has opinions. And I'm wondering if you share those opinions or do they differ? What do you think of the extra creepy, stalkery, creepy people?
Until I learned the name, I've just been calling them Festers in my head, like Uncle Fester on a diet is what they remind me of.
Oh, that is good.
I'm torn, but I think I agree with Maddie. Like they're there to add a certain element of ambience and creep factor. I think my problem was that they are just so out in daylight and like it really makes it hard for them to look super scary to me. The part about them that I found scary was when they were, you know, in a group and they were attacking or they're being creepy. But I immediately was reminded of like the master vampire from Salem's Lot. And for a second, I was just kind of like, hey, I've seen this before. This has been done before. I didn't hate it. Like, I loved the episode, don't get me wrong. But I do think that the Festers are a little bit, I don't know what the right word is to find, but I'm not going to say shitty. But
they're
I think
a little much, right? They're a little much, a little over the top.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah. Like, I think they were trying to go for whole, you know, we always do scary in the dark and like things in the shadows, creepy crawly, like we're going to have them count in the daylight. But it was very jarring to have them show up in broad daylight. Because here's my thing, like if it was one of them, then I'd understand how when we talk about later with the chief of police and all that being like, oh, don't worry about it, blah, 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 blah. But we saw multiples of these guys in daylight. And this chief of police does not impress me so far. I'll talk about that more when we get to that point. But like, I think they were used entirely too much. I would have much rather them to have been more subtle and not have come out of the gate screaming and running and, you know, doing all the stuff that they did. I think it would have been much better with a more subdued introduction to them. And I would have liked that better. Seeing all of them in the daylight and the jerky movements, and it is very cliche and stereotypical.
Okay, interesting. Both of you had really extreme reactions to them. I will say for me, I didn't mind them. I'm not going to say that I loved them, but I didn't mind them as much as both of you did. D does anyone else not mind them, or do the rest of you have the same like really strong reaction to the creepy white bald men?
I
Um,
wasn't scared of
oh,
them.
sorry.
Okay.
Like they didn't scare me. They were just kind of like Fester Adams. That I called them the exact same thing. I called them Fester.
They
I
were
was like,
comical, right?
because they look like Fester Adams with sharp teeth and skinny. But that's about it. Like they don't look tough to me. They look like they could break with the snap of the wind or something. I don't know.
All right. So Priscilla is on team anti-Fester. Odina?
I didn't mind them. I actually find it kind of interesting and funny because I thought in general just the two episodes were very like they played a lot on horror kind of cliches and they kind of reference a lot of movies. For me, these like creepy bald guys kind of reminded me of like Bram Stoker's Dracula where it was
Mm-hmm.
like they
Nosferatu.
look yeah, like they look like him. So I was like, oh, it could be like a play on that. But then I also feel like they might serve like a greater purpose. We just don't kind of know where that's going.
Mm-hmm.
And even in the beginning when they're first driving there and that psycho little girl's like counting the roadkill and you see the deer on the road, that reminded me of like Get Out. So I was like, oh, so there's like a bunch of horror movie references in this. So I'm wondering, like, I didn't mind them. I didn't think they were scary, but I also feel like it's almost kind of like a nod to previous horror movies.
Okay. I like that answer. Yes. Very cool. Okay, let's talk about the Chief. One of our AHS faves, Adina Porter, is back as Chief Burleson. Vinny apparently has a lot of opinions about the Chief because nobody has mentioned the Chief, but Vinny came with notes on the Chief. So talk to me about Chief Burleson, whom we do love. Adina Porter is always fantastic, but you have an issue with her.
Well, I just think that if she was this big hotshot detective, police, whatever, from Oakland, I've been to Oakland, okay? I know what it's like there. And there's a lot of crime. There's a lot of things going on, So if she survived there, then she should have some element of, like, awareness and just an ability to glean what's going on. I think my thing with her is that I feel that there is obviously much more going on in this town than we know in these first two episodes. I don't think she's as ignorant as she came across to me initially. I feel like maybe she's trying to kind of like, and I agree with Odina, I think there was a lot of very subtle nods to previous movies, and the Chief in this one gives me a nod back to Jaws, which I actually rewatched recently. And if you remember in Jaws, when the attacks start happening, I think it was the mayor is very much like, oh, no, it's not that big of a deal. We've got all these tourists coming. So I think there might be an element of you're a new chief in a new town. You have these people that just moved here. You don't want to stir things up so that when tourist season comes around, it's something out of nothing or that, the tourism season is impacted. But I just found it very strange that if you're this really big hotshot detective and you've obviously been in this town for a little while now, if the people that just got here walked down the street and literally got assaulted by one of these creatures, then they're kind of like the Starbucks of this town. They must be like one in every graveyard, So how could the chief just like really quickly just devalue what these people came to her and said, oh, it was probably just nothing to worry about, a one-off thing. I'm curious to see where it goes. I don't necessarily dislike her. I think that she's one of those political officials that could very well be trying to cover things up just to keep a very, very weak lid on the simmering pot that is this town.
Oh, that's interesting. So you find her suspicious.
Totally.
Okay, all right. I can dig that. It gives Adina Porter a whole lot more to do, which it can be very interesting. Any other thoughts on the police chief from either of you? Any strong opinions about Miss Porter?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have a feeling that she's there for like other motives. Because when we first get introduced to her, she says that she's from, I think, Brooklyn or Boston or somewhere.
Oakland.
She's from a big city. and she came here for peace and quiet. Well, no. Like, I feel like she knows more than she's letting on. So I feel like when she's saying, "Oh, guys, don't worry about it. It's just another, like sketched out druggie," like she's trying to almost be like, "Oh, if this family dies, it's not another notch on my belt," almost kind of thing. Like she's looking at a bigger picture. I feel like I don't feel like she's actually like I think she's smart. I don't think that she's stupid and just pretending that nothing's happening. Like I think that she knows way more than we know yet.
Agreed.
Okay. I like it. I'm loving the theories. Anything to give Odina Porter more to do, I am here for. I feel like all of you want to talk about tuberculosis Karen. We will be talking about her in a moment. Like I feel like one of you is like raising your hand, saying pick me for tuberculosis Karen. We will talk about her, I promise. But before we get to her, let's talk about Harry's interaction with one of the tall, bald, white, creepy men. Because one actually breaks into the house. He wants to get all bitey-bitey. And Harry kills him in the most spectacular way, the way that we should all kill intruders. Bam, 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 to the face. Priscilla, Harry and the intruder. Your thoughts?
The first thing I thought of was that, because I live in Texas, I was like, damn, do they have stand your ground laws where you're from? Because otherwise you're fucked over, dude. What the hell did you do killing this guy? Didn't you think of, like, I don't know, just restraining him, maybe doing anything else besides just killing the guy? Shit. But still, I guess since he thought his throat was going to be torn out by the teeth, he went straight for killing, which I guess is logical in that situation. But still, mega harsh.
She said, my gosh. Can we talk about, and I don't know if either of you noticed this or sort of just made this revelation as you all were watching this episode as well as the other one. Can I just say, I love how fast-paced the episode felt. I feel like...
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
100%.
I was wondering if I was the only one feeling this. Because
Agreed.
because I feel like any other season, and this is no shade at all to previous seasons, but I feel like in previous seasons, like we as the audience would have been privy to suspicious things. So we would kind of know, more than the characters. And not talking about the second episode, we will get to that in another podcast, but focusing on this one, like we got a lot of action that happened to our main people. And I kind of feel like if it had been any other season, not to go back to the murder house, but it took them a moment to sort of figure out what was going on in the murder house. And over the course of an episode, we already had attacks. We already had a whole lot of information. In the next episode, we get an even greater amount of information. But for the first episode, we actually got a pretty decent amount of information and a good amount of action that actually took place for our main characters, which made them a bit proactive and reactive in trying to figure out what is going on, or even trying to escape what was going on.
I agree. I actually, when I was watching it earlier with my partners, that was the exact comment that I made, was the pacing in this is actually so well done, because with AHS, I feel like we ran into this with the anthology series. It was either too slow or too fast. And this was like a perfect balance. I feel like in previous seasons, it would have taken maybe double or triple the amount of episodes to be presented with the amount of plot unfolding that we got. And it was actually very refreshing.
I 100% agree. I do wonder if the break, because for those out there that might be listening that don't know this was supposed to air last year. Like, this was supposed to record in the winter of 2019 to air, about this time a year ago. And I wonder if they had all tinkered with the script during the break. The COVID paused it, and Ryan Murphy, I do recall saying about 2 years ago that this season was going to be incredibly weather specific. So I guess he really wanted, a winter ambiance for this one, and I guess a much more summery, I would assume, ambiance for the second part of the season. So because of all of that, they pushed it back a year. And I wonder if that year allowed them to tinker a little bit, just to fine tune it a little bit more. Who knows? Maybe we'll never know, but maybe that did happen. So let's talk about tuberculosis Karen. Sarah Paulson. Wait, before I even say that, props to Sarah Paulson and Evan Peters, who we will be talking about in a moment. But both of them are executive producers.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Yes.
Wait, really?
Yes. Was it producers or executive producers? They are producing this season. So both of their names were under producers. I forget if it's an EP or just a regular P. But yes, props to them. That was awesome to see. So TB Karen, what did we think of her? First impressions, Sarah Paulson in a grocery store. It probably all gave us flashbacks to clowns having sex in the grocery store back in Cult.
Yes, it totally did. How did you guess?
Yes, I saw. Okay, there was this beautiful meme. Somebody snapped a picture saying, "Oh gosh, what was her name? Fairchild, whatever her character's name, something Fairchild." I remember they were like, "Damn, she's been through a lot," because they showed a side by side of the character from Cult and
Oh my God,
TV
that's
Karen.
amazing.
Yeah, oh, it's fantastic. Priscilla, since you were talking, TB Karen, what did you think of Sarah Paulson and her character this time around?
Is it weird that I judged her right off the bat, and I was just kind of like, my God, who is this freak? What the fuck? Why
You
is she
judged her?
coming on so strong on this guy? What is, like, I didn't think of the warning right away. I just thought of like how she came off, how I perceived her, and I was just kind of like, my God, ah, get her away from me, man. Like, I couldn't think of her I couldn't think of the warning until later on and at the restaurant. And then I started putting the pieces together.
Judgy Wudgy was a bear.
I know. But
See,
still,
you would have been suckered into fucking P-Town because you didn't pay
I know
attention to
I
her.
would have been suckered into P-Town.
They're gonna munch on your balls.
Yeah,
Dude, but that was a bad
literally.
warning. What the hell?
Yeah, she probably should have said something else. But yeah, but maybe some characters do munch on the balls. Stay tuned for the next couple episodes. We'll see.
So,
Yes?
am I
The
the only
weird-
one who doesn't like tuberculosis Karen?
You don't like tuberculosis, Karen.
I 100% do not like her either.
You don't
To
like
be honest with
tuberculosis.
you.
Okay, so here's the thing. I love Sarah Paulson. Like, she's in everything.
No, you
She's
don't.
so good at acting. But I see her too much in, like, when she plays a character, I still see Sarah Paulson. Like, I feel, this is going to make me sound so bad. Like, because everyone's like, how dare you say that about our Lord and Savior, Sarah Paulson?
Say it.
I don't know. I'm getting tired of
She wasn't even
her.
in 1984, and it's been
I
3
know.
years since we've
I
seen
know.
her.
I
Okay,
know.
let it out,
I just
Maddie.
I don't know. Maybe it's because like she's been in so much stuff lately that every single time I see her, it's like I just still see Sarah Paulson. Like I obviously like her voice is the same. I feel like her voice never changes. It's the same raspy screaming. Like I don't know. Obviously this character, like her face is completely messed up. It's completely different. But I still see her. And I guess the same could go for like Evan Peters, but I feel like Evan Peters brings a whole different, like every single time I see him as a different character, he's a different character. When I see Sarah, it's like I just see Sarah dressed up. You know
It's
what
your
I mean?
it's your internal misogyny.
Come on.
How dare you judge Sarah Paulson? We will be sacrificing you to Scath Hatch. Well, that was the
Of
name of Lady
course.
Gaga, right?
Watch, and then my MVP for this
It's gonna be
episode is
fucking Sarah Paulson.
I feel
Oh,
like now you just have to.
This is a
Right.
ruse. She wanted Sarah Paulson for her MVP. That's what it was.
I would just like to see her as something completely different. Like,
Okay.
I don't know, because we've seen her as like a cracked out, person in Hotel, right?
That is true. Yes, we did see her as a... She isn't really...
So-
Is she... She's... Well, she is cracked. I don't know if she's like a cracked out
But
person.
you know what I mean? That type of, I still like,
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen it before. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Okay.
I think we were kind of catfished, actually. Because if you guys remember, like, she was telling all the newspaper, listen how old I sound, the newspapers.
Oh, the newspapers.
All the websites and all that. Like, oh my God, I look like I've never looked before. I look completely different. You're not going to recognize this character. My hair is so crazy. But
They just put false teeth and no eyebrows on her.
and
really.
chola eyebrows.
Oh, God. And extra padding. Because she's...
Yeah.
They have her layered. Layered.
Like, I don't hate tuberculosis Karen, but for me, ever since Cult, my opinion of Sarah Paulson playing a character in American Horror Story has dropped to the point of I'm desperate for her to do something different. I agree with Madison in that regard. She's a really talented actress. She's everywhere. But, my one boyfriend, he even said, oh, great, we get to listen to another season of her screaming hysterically again.
Exactly. Yeah. And the
That's
thing is,
funny.
like, I love her. Like, I love her acting. Like, she's so great in everything that she does, but it's just, I feel like I've seen this before. So
Yeah.
even, I don't know, I would have loved to see her maybe as, like, for example, Belle Noire. Like, to see her in that type of character or something like that. You know what I mean?
But that would have been
Something
too
new.
similar. But then you could have said that's too similar to her character during the first part of Apocalypse.
Ooh,
But
the
that's the
shade.
thing. Create something different. Make her one of the skinny bald guys.
Oh,
I
well,
would pay to see that.
that could be
But she
coming.
can't scream.
She can't scream. Yeah, well, that's true.
No. It's a non-vocal role.
All right.
But I do think tuberculosis Karen plays a very important and pivotal role because I thought about it and think about the town that we're in. I mean, obviously we have the Festers running around, but otherwise this is like suburbia. This is gorgeous New England. It's a beautiful town. It inspires creativity. These people came here for it. But then you have this like cancerous looking woman walking around. She's almost like a walking personification of the disgusting filth that is existing just under the surface. And I kind of want to hear her story. Like, I want to find out how she got there. So I really do hope that she does get a chance to evolve into another type of character, and maybe Paulson gets a chance to do something she hasn't done before. But so far, I agree with Madison. I don't think this is a very big departure, but I think she serves a very symbolic purpose.
Okay. I like the deep analysis. I like it. Even the hateration from Maddie Fitz, I'll accept it.
Oh my god. I'm going to be like writing an apology letter to Sarah Paulson in like an hour. Okay?
Yes, you can tweet her. She'll respond. Or she'll block you, which that'll be entertaining as well. Stay tuned. Let's talk about two of the local denizens. They're not local year-round, but they do go to P-Town to get a little inspiration. So first impressions of Austin Summers, a.k.a. Evan Peters, and Sarah Cunningham, a.k.a. Belle Noire, played by another AHS veteran, Frances Conroy. A fun little fact. Everyone loves a little fun fact. This was the character that Kathy Bates was going to play. Kathy Bates was going to be Belle Noire
Ooh.
originally, but then COVID happened, and we don't really have an official reason. We just know that because of COVID, she didn't film. A lot of people are assuming because she's a cancer survivor, so she's kind of like in that tender group that shouldn't be sort of out and about, just in case they get exposed to COVID and that sort of thing. So, Belle Noire was going to be Kathy Bates, which I think would have maybe changed things, maybe not. I don't know.
I think it would have changed the
Dynamic?
personification of the character for sure.
Yes. Maybe.
But when, like we were just saying, first impressions of them, I don't know about you guys, but when they started singing on that stage, this karaoke bar type deal. When our writer is sitting there watching them and he's smiling, I could not help but just like smile at the TV like I was watching them at a bar myself. They looked so cute and happy and they sounded great.
And you know they're
I was
fucking.
just like in a moment.
And you know they're fucking.
Well, duh, but
Well, she said, well, duh.
but it was cute.
Yes. Can I just say, y'all, I don't know if someone here is going to be disgusted with me, but I didn't really recognize Islands in the Stream until they actually started singing the chorus. And I don't think I've ever heard Islands in the Stream. Like the
They
only
did have
version of
such a
Islands.
cute version of it.
They really did.
They did, but I think I only know Islands in the Stream because of Ghetto Superstar. That is what you are. They sampled it, and so whenever I've heard Islands in the Stream, I don't think I've ever heard it completely. It wasn't recognizable to me until they started singing that part, and I was like, oh, that's what that is. It was cute.
I only know that song because in middle school, everyone told this joke about Dolly Parton, and it was, what does Dolly Parton sing in the bathtub? Yeah, that was my introduction to the song when I was a kid, and I'd never heard the song before.
You should go into stand-up comedy.
I would suck.
Okay, yeah, that's funny. Any other thoughts on Belle and Austin from the rest of our peoples?
They have really good chemistry.
Mm-hmm. And their wardrobe.
I'm trying to think back through my AHS Rolodex. Have they ever been paired up in a season? They have been in seasons together, yes. Have they ever been specifically paired up? Did Tate have a lot of lines with Frances Conroy as the maid?
Like when they were in the house in the first season, they were both ghosts, right? So
yes, but did they ever really interact?
I don't
No,
know.
really, to be honest. I was also thinking maybe Asylum, because didn't she play like the Angel of Death or something?
She did play the Angel of Death, but that was such a small role for her.
Yeah.
I don't think they've ever had such a close and like symbiotic relationship as a duo where they play off each other. I think they were always on the fringe of each other's ensemble cast.
Storylines and stuff, yeah. They worked fantastically together. Their chemistry was
Super
incredibly
cute.
incredibly electric. It was nice. They worked very well together. Let's talk about an AHS virgin. Macaulay Culkin, Mickey. I'm not even going to pick on anybody. Whoever wants to jump in and say something first. What did we think of Mickey?
You strike me as a power top. Never thought I would hear Kevin McAllister say those words.
I know, he's all grown up. And can I just say, he still has that incredible stage presence. Like, he hasn't done a lot of work, and he was a child actor. He's never really been a full-time, movie after movie after movie adult actor. He has done some stuff. A lot of it has really been indie things. So for me, it's been a while since I've seen him do anything. I think the most that I know about Macaulay Culkin is kind of like his love life, because sometimes you'll see just like news alerts and that sort of thing. So seeing him on the screen, seeing him like really gel with this weird, kooky AHS universe was kind of nice. Like, I hope he becomes like a regular in this stuff. Like, he had a strong presence. Yes, Mary?
Yeah, I can back off you by saying, like, I hope he becomes a presence. Like, this character, when he first showed up, I was like, of course, they're making him this disheveled-looking guy because, us, just viewers seeing his kind of life, in the paparazzi, the magazines, oh, this is what he looks like now. And you're like, oh, yikes, right? I was like, oh, why did they have to put him as, this type of character? But as the episode and next episode go on, we really start to actually see him as a character, like have a backstory. So I'm really interested and I really hope that they do a lot more with him because I am so pumped to see him on the screen again, like you're saying. So yeah, I really think that they could do a lot with him, but I just hoped and thought that they were maybe going to use him in a different way. But I mean, this is only the first episode, so.
Definitely, yeah. And the only other main character, that we haven't really discussed is Leslie Grossman's Ursula. She was only in it for a teeny, teeny tiny bit. But her character did have a big presence. What was our initial take on the teeny tiny little bit that we got of Ursula in the first episode?
Wait,
I mean,
she.
she's the writer's
The agent.
The agent,
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
I think she, I don't know, typical Californian, like uppity. I don't know. I think she played it good so far. I hope that she comes to the this town. That would be
Mhm.
interesting, to see her walk through being like, oh my God, what is this place? Or like, something like that. But yeah, I don't know. Simple. And I hope we see more of her.
Yeah, definitely. She had a presence. She was interesting. What I will say about all of the actors is that they all committed to their roles. Like whether you like the character or not, like Maddie Fitz and her hatred of tuberculosis Karen. Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of that in the coming weeks. Whether you like them or not, they all committed to their roles. Like I give them props to that. Like they are playing their roles to a T, which is really nice, I would say.
Well, and wasn't this the first time that Finn Wittrock has actually, I mean, obviously by the end of these first two episodes, different opinion, but coming into it, wasn't this the first time he's actually played like a protagonist and not an antagonist or a shitty character?
Yeah, 100%. And if we go back to 1984, its grandson and grandmother are married. So
Oh, I'm glad you caught that too.
yeah, it was very funny. They are age appropriate. Like I had to look up their ages because I was like, how old are they? I'm very confused because they don't always play their age. They sometimes with the makeup age them up or age them down. And I was like, where are they? And I was like, oh, okay, they are age appropriate. I'm like, okay, I like it. It works for me. Yeah, Finn Wittrock as a leading man. As I said before, Lily Rabe as a leading lady. Fantastic. So let's talk about the offer. Okay. So you meet these people. They talk about creativity. You go to Evan Peters' house. You hear more about creativity, juices flowing. Austin is a successful playwright. We know Belle Noire. She does the romance novels, but apparently, according to Harry, with sort of like an intelligent twist to them. It's not the usual stuff that you find at the grocery store or the drugstore, if they even still sell them there. But yes, so Austin is like, one of the things that I do that helps is this little black pill. What's in it? I don't know, but it helps me write. It gets the creative juices flowing. So without getting into anything that happens in the second episode, if you were to be presented with one of those pills, without knowing anything about it, would you take the pill, Priscilla?
No. This is, like, you don't know what's in it. And, furthermore, even though they say that the writer is constantly looking for ways to, deblock himself, there are other more healthy ways to get rid of your writer's block than just taking drugs. That's the easy way out. And to take the easy way out isn't the best way. And it's just the easy way. And you're always going to be looking for the easy way then. You're going to be hooked on these pills. And is that how you want to lead your writing life? Even other writers like Stephen King have said before that, writing with, cocaine and stuff like that is easier, but, it's not something that they want to live their lives leading. So, no, hell no, I wouldn't take the pill.
Okay. Vinny, would you take the pill?
I agree with Priscilla. I mean, being a writer myself, I know how tempting it is to try to find inspiration, how desperate that you can become. But at the end of the day, just common sense wise, if I had met two strangely interesting, uniquely weird people and I was dumb enough to go back to their house and they offered me a little black pill that was nameless, I probably just wouldn't take it out of common sense. But even with the moniker of, oh, this will get the juices flowing and this, what will help you get inspired, my immediate question would be like, okay, but what's the come down like? It's anyone who has ever been intoxicated or experimented with drugs knows that everything has a cost, everything has a price. And knowing that going into it, no. And plus, I think that anything created during an altered state of mind, while it may be interesting and potentially in some ways better, it's not something that you should rely on because talent is supposed to be natural. It's supposed to evolve as you grow and change. And I personally think that it would be a cop-out, in all honesty.
Okay. I'm enjoying the answers. There's no right answer, in my opinion. You can pick whatever you want. Maddie Fitz, would you take one of those tragic, magic little black pills? You are the queen of the occult, so... I mean,
come on.
Is that a yes?
First off, our little writer friend did not ask as many questions as he should have. Like, first off, okay, what's in it? Oh, I don't know. Okay, first red flag. Who made it? We don't know. The chemist. Okay, who's the chemist? We don't know. Second red flag. And I mean, no, obviously no. But desperation, if I wasn't living in reality, yeah, probably. But no. Like, you don't even know what's in it. And you didn't, like Vinnie was saying, you didn't ask the questions. What happens after I take it? How long does this affect, work? How often am I going to have to take them? Am I going to get it? No questions? You just say no and leave with them? Okay. What? you didn't even, probably asked more questions to your doctor than you do this guy who you just met. You know what I mean?
What we need is a commercial that is a beautiful commercial for the Muse or the little black pill. And then, how they do those really fastly read disclaimers at the end about the side effects? That should be there, but it should be read by tuberculosis Karen.
Exactly.
Oh, yes. I just want the gristlin', fat bitch. Odina, little black pills.
Obviously no, because everyone's pointing out, you don't know what's in it, who made it, what the come down's going to be like, if you're going to be dependent on it. And there's also just no guarantee that it's actually going to do what they're saying it's going to do. So what would be the point? Mm-hmm. But I'd also say this point in the episode frustrated me the most because I was like, how does this man go from I just fought this random guy and killed him in my house and I'm leaving the next day and screw this, and then he tells Evan Peters' character Austin or whatever, he's like, no, F you, whatever, storms off, and then has one telephone conversation with his agent. He's like, all right, I might as well do it. How does your character go from so strongly opposed to something to one flake and he's like, okay, cool?
Desperation.
It's the success. It's the they pointed out, right off the bat, if you want to get rid of your writer's block, if you want to be successful, you do this. This is the key to all your answers, right? So I think it's really desperation at this point, right?
100%.
I just feel like he's a weak ass bitch.
Oh, he is a weak ass bitch.
Sure. 100%.
Yes, that is. I believe that's an official doctoral analysis right there. All right, everybody. So one thing that I want to ask that I hope everyone noticed because it was hella obvious, but we got no answer to it in this episode. We got no answer to it in the next episode. So that's why I'm dying to get a theory from one of you. I hope that one of you have a theory for this. My guess is maybe Priscilla, because Priscilla will stay up in the night theorizing about stuff, as I know. Yes. The red lights. We noticed red lights.
Yes.
Right?
And I kept on...
Oh, I have a theory about it.
I knew it. I knew it. I am Nostradamus. I was supposed to say Nosferatu. That's not the right. I am Nostradamus. Um, Priscilla, I feel like you have a theory. The red lights, please.
I think it's kind of like in biblical times where they used to like in pour
Yes,
like
yes.
the blood of like the
Goat's
lamb
blood. Yeah.
in on the door frame to like have the person skip over like the firstborn son. And I think that it's kind of like that with the red light, like that this is the light, this is where you skip over the family, like so you don't mess with whoever's inside, like the B-Town residents. That's why each resident has a red light on their door frame.
Or the ones that know what's happening. They have like the red light, and then our creepy bald guys don't disturb that house because they know that they can't.
There will be consequences. It's almost like how tuberculosis Karen said that you promised you would protect me from the others. Maybe there's some kind
Exactly.
of agreement or exchange taking place. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I like it. Any other theories about it that may be
I
different?
actually just wanted to say,
Hmm.
Priscilla, that's a really good assessment because I know in like biblical there's four like horsemen of the apocalypse, and I think the red one represents bloodshed. And it wasn't just the lights that I noticed, it was the coloring. Like if you notice, the daughter's violin case is all red. Uh,
Yes.
so
Hmm.
that like the color red in general just kind of stuck out. And like if it's like tying into blood and kind of like vitality, and just like things that red represents, passion, inspiration, creativity, that kind of stuff, I think it's interesting. But yeah.
Very good
Yeah.
point. Yes, I like it. I like it. So before we start wrapping things up, there are two moments that I would like to discuss with all of you. And clearly, we've seen the second episode, so we have way more information than we should, as we're discussing the first episode. But I want to get your sort of like initial take when you were watching it, when you were watching this first episode. I'm sure you were already theorizing and trying to guess what was going to come next. So we have two scenes. We have one with Mickey and Belle, where it looks like he's providing her with his services. He's a sex worker.
Services.
Services, yes, with a smile. And one of the services for $300 was that he was going to let her suck him. Not in that way. Literally sucking his arm that's cut with a razor blade, the blood and all that kind of stuff. Later on in the episode, we also learn, after TB Karen was like, warning everybody and, she just wanted the gristle and the fat. She gets a call because she has a cell phone and it's from Belle, and she basically is like, "You're gonna do this for me." We hear TB Karen go, "No, no, no, not again, not again," but she follows through. In a sack is what we're assuming is a baby, because that sounded like a crying child, and Belle provides TB Karen with some drugs. And that's where she says what Vinny just mentioned, and you're also providing me protection from those out there. And she's basically like, yeah. So what do we think what did we think initially when we watched this? Were we like, okay, is this like vampires? What was like going through your minds the very first time that you watched this first episode? Odina?
Um, TV, this is what made me hate TV, freaking Karen, because
Oh,
how are you sitting there judging everybody and you're handing over a child to this monster? Like, what?
I mean, everybody's
I
got to
mean, I
eat.
definitely think this first episode, like everyone mentioned, the pacing was a lot faster, which kind of shocked me than usual. And I think there was a lot of like subtle symbolic things that like probably mean a lot more. Um, like in terms of like I feel like we think we know like kind of the basic big stuff, but knowing American Horror Story, we probably don't. Like those pills, like what's in them, I feel like we probably have been shown kind of what could be in them, but we're
Mm-hmm.
not like aware of it. Overall, I hate TV Karen, to be honest with you.
Mm-mm-mm.
Um, But I'm interested to see where it goes. Like, it's definitely caught my attention right away, which American Horror Story hasn't in a while. So we'll see.
All right. Well, clearly it's not just licorice in those pills.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I have a theory.
Ooh. Wait,
But
Maddie
I'll
Fitz
let-
first, and then
yeah.
we'll get Vinny.
What?
Oh, Maddie Fitz, it sounded like you were going to say something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
just gonna let Vinny go, but okay. Like, okay. Karen is a lost cause at this point in my mind
Aw.
right now.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna talk about her in the second episode.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Chill.
yes. Okay.
So she's a lost cause right now. But so when she hands over this child, immediately I thought, okay, they're just feeding on youth because it's probably the purest form of blood because it's new, it's fresh, whatever, vampires,
Yes.
something.
You would know this because of your satanic literature.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So I put that aside. I was like, okay, baby food, got it. And then, yeah, it really didn't shock me. So yeah, I mean, and where this is gonna go, I just feel like she's just doing it for protection because she's scared. Like she's living on the street. She sees everything, right? So this scene didn't surprise me, because we've all seen vampire movies and shows, and they do stupid things and crazy things for blood. So
Okay. Vinny, you have a theory. Is it a crackpot theory?
It is a crackpot theory, but
Okay,
I
good.
can lay a foundation that could make it plausible. So leading up to this, the going joke, not going, but the going theme was that the first half of this season was going to be mermaids and or sirens, and the second half was going to be aliens. So my first reaction upon watching this episode, and we can talk more about like what the pill does and all that, but I do think that when Karen was saying, you said you would protect me from them out there, I don't think that she's talking about Fester. I think that what's going on is that these pills potentially are linked to sea creatures, sirens, because in mythology, sirens were known to have this beautiful singing voice that would lure sailors to their death. And so I thought about that, and maybe I fully admit I'm probably grasping at straws, but I tried to correlate that, and I actually came up with a theory that makes sense. So let's say that this chemist somehow managed to get her hands on the body of a siren or the blood of a siren. And so the allure, the absolute passion that draws someone to go to a siren song is because they are enraptured by the creativity being expressed through this song. So if the chemist was able to somehow get and formulate a pill that contained siren blood or some element of that creature, and it was able to amplify and magnify the innate creativity within someone, but they had to express it, right? They have to express it, because if they don't have anything, then we know what happens to them, which we'll talk about later. I would be very happy to kind of see that come out in a way, because I feel like there is more going on here than just the festers in the street and these artists filing their teeth and eating people's throats and drinking their blood. And that's how I kind of came up with, is that maybe there is still something to go on with the sea creatures. And when you take this pill, it amplifies whatever creativity you have. And just like a siren song lured sailors to their death, whatever your medium of creativity is, it makes people want to be part of it. And that Islands in the Stream duet really resonated with me in that theory because of how the smile, like we were talking about, he was smiling at the two of them. The bar seemed to be paying attention to them. So I'm not saying that they're sirens themselves, but they are in their medium, whether it's music or writing or whatever, what have you. So that was how the crazy thing that I came up with out of left field. I would be curious to see if anything like that plans out.
Vinny, I
That's
love you
interesting.
because
Yes.
that obviously I went full out thinking this was sirens, and then obviously when the blood sucking and all this stuff happened, I was like, okay, so vampires ?
Right.
But when this whole black pill thing came along, I immediately thought to myself, well, the pills must have blood inside them, because if you guys think, we didn't even talk about this, but the intro to the season, the intro was amazing. I loved it. But
Mhm.
there's
As
a lot
always.
of blood. Yeah, there's a lot of blood in the intro, and it looks like the blood is running through tubes, and like spiral tubes that you would use like in a science lab. So I was thinking something like that, like blood of something is being used for these pills. So if it goes far left field, like Vinny's saying, that it's coming from somewhere else, that could totally be a a bulletproof plot or analogy. And I also just forgot to add, where did Karen get the baby from? Like, because if this happens often that she does this for Belle, does the hospital not notice that babies are going missing or people not reporting this on like a weekly basis? Like, what? Are we just going to ignore that fact?
What if it was a siren baby?
Oh, it's too much.
Interesting. I am loving that theory just because, this season it's called Double Feature. When it was promoted, it said we would have a story by the sea, a story by the sand. Clearly, the next one is by the sand. This one is the one that's by the sea. And the main assumption, based off of all of the promotional imagery, was that we were going to be getting sirens and aliens. And as of right now, it does seem to be just a vampiric style story. So stay tuned. A lot of people on social media were wondering, could all of this vampiric appearing activity be kind of a ruse in like for what's to come? Like, could there be more sort of like bubbling underneath all of this? And I think Vinny could be correct. So we'll have to wait and see. We don't have that many episodes this season. There are only 10 episodes. We've seen 2. I am assuming that the season is split right down in the middle. So it's 5 and 5, maybe? So that means we don't have that many episodes left. In P-Town, I don't know if it's 5 and 5 or 6 and 4. We're going to have to wait and see. But that's a good theory. I like it. We didn't talk about the opening credits, so we can now. I know that Maddie already did a little bit. Does anyone else have any opinions on the opening? It was visually impressive, as all AHS openings are. The theme is that spectacular theme that's been there since day one. I don't feel like they tweaked it much, so I think it's just the normal theme. I don't think, in some other seasons they will, add a little extra stuff to, it's kind of appropriate for the season, but I didn't hear anything different, so it just seems like the typical theme. But any opinions on the imagery?
It makes me hungry. All the meat.
Blood? Oh.
Do you want a baby?
Excuse me? Excuse me?
All the blood? Oh, did you say, do you want a baby? Oh, God.
I did. I will say that it contributed to my theory because if I remember correctly, we do see like a chemistry set at one point in the credits. And I feel
That's
like
what I'm saying.
If this was just I will say this. I have a feeling Maddie, first of all, Maddie, I love you too. Second, I think Maddie and I will be in the hate camp if this is just literally fucking vampires and that's it. I will be so disappointed. Like, if there isn't anything bigger.
Sirens are way cooler, man. So.
Yes.
All right, I like it. Was there anything that I missed? I know we did find dead bodies on the beach, and that we didn't really talk about that, but that was just a little moment, just adding to the horrors of P-Town. Was there anything that I missed, a teeny tiny little moment that either of you would like to chat about before we head into the MVP?
I just wanted to ask, like, what was up with that scene with the fox? Like, is it supposed to be the vampire things that are just, like, snatching up foxes on the beach? Like,
Well, what does the fox say?
Literally, like, this little girl's playing the violin, like, the metronome's going, this guy's trying to, like, figure out his writer's block, and, like, at the same time, this fox gets snatched right when this little girl, like, screws up or something. Like, I was just like, what was the like, is this, like, Twilight and the lion met the lamb? Like, I was confused.
I would assume it's just to show the weird shit's happening, and more than likely one of the Festers was hungry.
Yeah, that's what I got from it. But yeah, it was kind of random.
Maybe the one that died on the beach. I don't remember the order, if that was before or after.
I
but
think
who
it's
killed
really
them?
to show like the eeriness of the place, which I really like. I like how they're doing a lot of, overhead shots of the town. Everything's very white, gray, black. Like just the setting of the whole show so far is brilliant. Like I think
Hmm.
the location is great. And yeah, I think just, the roadkill, the cemetery, just things like that. Like even the old kind of rusted, houses and stuff. I think it's just for the setting, the ambiance of it.
Hmm. I agree. The setting is beautiful. Those are the kind of houses that apparently Vinny's used to. That's a little inside joke from, stories outside of the podcast world.
Yeah.
Yes, Vinny, you know what? I was just gonna
Mhm.
really gloss over the festers on the beach, but I think the festers on the beach back up your theory. And you did ask a
Yes.
question,
Yes,
and it's a
yes.
question that I'm gonna say right now. Who killed the festers? We were just saying, what was it, whales or something, or sharks, or I don't know what the fuck they said, but they said
Seals, right?
seals or
Seals.
whatever, creatures in the, normal sea creatures. And what if the festers got too close to the water, or what if the fester saw something in the water they thought it was an easy thing to kill, to feast on, and in fact it was a siren that was luring them in because they sense that, their powers, their essence, was used in a malicious, bad way, or in a way that it's not supposed to be used.
Yeah.
And so that's the sirens taking their revenge out on these vampiric people.
And look at
Man,
how they
if
were
this
killed.
is if this is not the way that the show's going, I'm gonna be so upset now.
Right? Right? Like I got myself excited even thinking about it, but I went back and I paused that scene, and I mean, we already know that I'm morbid, so I'll just acknowledge it. I analyzed the wounds. I looked at the way those creatures were killed. A great white would have had more precise wounds. Like it
They
was.
wouldn't be left there either.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
wouldn't be left there. They would have been eaten.
Hmm. It was almost like they were toyed with and they were tortured. So yeah, that was the other thing that like supplemented my idea, was like, especially the fact of how the tide, and this just speaks to the filming, cinematography, like everything. It was almost like the sea creatures were mocking the world with their kill, because the sea was slowly coming in and kind of caressing around. Caressing is a bad word, but it was framing them almost like the Mother Nature was saying, "Ha ha, I did it." It was so well done, and that scene itself, I love the fact, because Ryan Murphy is known for his twists, let's face it, and some of them are stupid, some of them were great, but the fact that we did not get any more information on that scene, because Belle and Austin, they would have said if they were the ones that did that, but I don't think they would feed on those creatures, because those creatures are empty. So something else killed them, and the fact that we didn't get answers leaves me to believe this was a seed planted for a later on climax.
Hmm. I like it. I'm here for it. Stay tuned. So now it's time for the MVP, the most valuable player. State which character impressed you throughout the episode and why. Once a character has been chosen, they cannot be selected again. So choose wisely. Even though she's been misbehaving. Maddie Fitz, you can go first. Who's your MVP
Why
and why?
me? Why me?
To torture you.
Oh God. Okay. Think. Hmm.
Maddie Fitz did not do her homework.
No, I'm just okay. I'm gonna go with, is it Harry or Henry? Henry?
Harry.
Harry, sure. I don't even know his name. Um, yeah, I mean, I really like Finn in this character. I've always liked Finn in anything that he does, and I just feel like this character really, really suits him well. Him being a writer, he's, just his whole, how to explain it? His whole, I guess, ambiance, or I don't know, just how he's going about this character. It's very relatable to writers and, going away to try to write, and just the way that you know, he's showing, at least right now, that he's a lovable husband, a good father. Clearly, that doesn't go that far in the next episode. But I really, really like his character. It's very strong. And yeah, I don't know. He's my MVP.
All right. Odina, your MVP and why?
Okay, I'm kind of caught on this one. Great. I'll go TB Karen. Don't like her at all, but I applaud her Uber Eats delivery skills overall.
Oh my gosh.
And she did give me a little bit of like William Shakespeare, Ides of March, like beware the Ides of March. But I honestly feel like there's probably going to be a point in time where she does something like noble or respectable that I'll like, so I'll give it to her.
Wait, can you repeat that? You picked?
TB Karen.
You did. I just wanted to make sure I heard that correctly.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though you did not like her.
No, I don't.
Okay. But you respect her hustle.
I respect the hustle for sure.
Okay. Everyone needs a job. That's why Postmates exists, you know? Yes. All right. I like that. Priscilla, your MVP and why?
The name isn't coming to me, but the little girl.
Alma.
Because she was
Alma.
delightfully, like, twisty. She was just weird, and she got on my nerves, and she would just be creepy with her father, and she would just be... She's the perfect, like, annoying child, and I like that in this series, because, like, she portrays children, like, really well. So, yes, I pick her.
Okay. I like it. Good choice. Yes, you were already talking about how creepy she was at the beginning, so it's an appropriate pick for you. Vinnie, your MVP and why?
So before I do my MVP, I have to ask, has anyone watched Shudder? Slashers, Flesh and Blood at all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Alma reminds me of the creepy ass little girl in that.
Yes. Yes.
We just watched that last night when we couldn't watch American Horror Story, so I was like, okay, I guess the trend of 2021 horror shows is super creepy fucking children.
Yes. Yes. And she does do it well. You know, Priscilla, you were right. Like, she plays the creepy little girl. You know, like at first she was kind of, well, not when she was canning roadkill, but she's kind of cute. Like, you know, being the, I don't know if I want to be here. Like, and the parents are saying, oh, it's going to be great. Don't worry. It's kind of like, oh, you feel so bad for her. And then you realize that she is a perfectionist and a little nutso. Yeah.
As opposed to eating lead off of a pier dock like in the other show.
Exactly.
But
Come on, Mom. Let's make sandcastles.
Right? So my MVP is, I'm going to have to give it to Miss Belle Noire. She was my absolute favorite in this episode. If there was like a personification human-wise of a Black Widow spider, she nailed it. To be very honest, after this performance, like, I am so glad that Kathy Bates did not play this role. Not that I do not respect and I don't adore Kathy Bates, because I do.
Dare you?
I love her.
How dare you cock block
see
Kathy Bates from getting a paycheck?
I don't think I could see Kathy Bates doing this. Like, I don't think she would be as mysterious as...
Kathy Bates is rolling over in her bed right now at this blasphemy.
I don't know that Kathy Bates could have brought the femme fatale sexiness and mystique which don't get me wrong, I never would have thought I would be saying this about Frances Conroy either, because they're both very versatile actresses, and I think this role would have put either of them outside of what we're used to seeing. But no, Belle Noire was such a wonderful hook when paired with Austin Summers to bring Harry in and reel him in, and she nailed it. Every single, from the wardrobe to the way that she acted, her mannerisms, the way that she spoke, it was just so well done. Like, I could very easily buy how Harry was brought in by these people. When they were doing the whole, we are protesters of prose, warriors of the word, they oozed creativity. They oozed uniqueness. These were the now modern day equivalent of beatniks back in the 60s or 70s, the people that you wanted to hang around. So I absolutely loved her. I adored the character, and I also want her wardrobe.
How dare you question Kathy Bates's sex appeal and mystique?
I mean, do you want to see Macaulay Culkin getting sucked by Kathy Bates?
I mean, you know what? Now that I'm remembering, Maddie Fitz, I feel like we shared a tweet or something that there was like a tweet saying that Macaulay Culkin was going to have sex with Kathy Bates or something.
Yeah.
Oh, there was.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know if I want to watch the
Well,
new
now you
season.
don't have to, but yeah, I'd pay $5 for that. All right, so well, I guess I get to give it to the character that I was giving love to at the start of the episode. I'm going to give it to Doris, Lily Rabe. It's great to have her as a headliner. Doris didn't really get much to do except to react to everything that's going down in P-Town, but she gave, can I just say, the most realist, real-world, real people reaction in a horror production
Yeah.
ever. She said, "We're getting the fuck out of this town. I don't care if I lose my job. I will do shit on the gram. Like, we are leaving." So she gave the realest answer in any type of horror production, so I will give her props to that. She looked fantastic. That pregnancy suit, it's interesting. It is interesting. I'll just say that. But she looks good rocking it, so props to her for that. So I'll
She
give
looks great, but I just think
Doris.
her stomach keeps changing sizes.
Okay, it's not just me, thank God, because I
Yes,
swore
100%.
her belly was changing.
Well,
And I don't know if it's just like the wardrobe that she was wearing, but I like at one point, like when she's laying in bed, I thought like her baby bump was gone, and I was
Same.
like, oh God, did something happen? Like, what is this? So, yeah, a little confused about that, but nonetheless, she's gorgeous. So
What I will
Yes.
say is it almost seems as if Ryan made a very smart move and he gave Lily Rabe what would have been normally been the Sarah Paulson role and Sarah Paulson what could have been the Lily Rabe role.
oh, that
Like,
is interesting. That is kind of, I can buy that. Yes.
yeah.
So now it's time to rate the episode. How would you rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10 Muse pills? The point system is allowed, and if you found the episode exceptional, deserving of more than a 10, you may grant it the coveted Golden Muse. So we'll go in reverse order, sort of. And Vinny, that means you are the first victim.
Well, thank you, my good sir. I am going to come out of the gate and give this a solid 9. I really think that for the past 9 years, American Horror Story has been very hit or miss, especially as we got to the middle of its run. I did feel for a while there that churning these out once a year, they were at times very much starting to lose quality in areas that they used to be very solid. And I think taking a year off to really grasp the weather concept and to really put that finishing touch paid off. Right out of the gate with this episode, I really enjoyed it. I was engaged. I did not have a single moment where I was like, all right, I'm going to look away. This is boring. I didn't care for the Festers, but they serve a purpose for exposition. They are there as a breadcrumb to lead us into wanting to find out what's going on underneath this town's pretty provincial facade. All of the characters were executed wonderfully by the actors in the role. This cast was perfectly done. Every actor was very well curated for the role that they were chosen to pick. And those that we didn't get to see a lot of in this episode, I'm looking forward to see more. Story-wise, once I started thinking about my theory and I started feeling like this isn't going to be vampires, almost to the point that I feel like it can't just be vampires, I think there is a very, very well-layered plot that is going to unfurl through the remaining episodes of this season, or this half of a season. And I think it was really, really just an amazing beginning. And as much as I hated waiting this long for it, I definitely felt it was worth the wait.
All right, starting off strong with a solid 9. Priscilla, what about you?
I co-sign, and I'm going to give it a 9 too. I thought it was really solid off the gate. I think I'm dinging it also for the Lesters. I thought that the Fester Adams, I thought that they were kind of cliche, kind of very, they weren't very scary. They were more hilarious to me. And I thought that didn't really set the right with the tone of sirens and mysteriousness and apparently vampires that we're getting.
Okay, we got 2 solid 9s. Odina, what about you?
I'm gonna give it an 8.5. I agree with everybody in saying that I think in comparison to previous um, seasons, this definitely is a lot better. It caught my attention, and I think that's to do with the cinematography, the pacing, and kind of just the mystery behind everything, because we definitely don't know the full truth. I am going to take away points for TP Karen, half a point, and also just because I think I don't really, like, I didn't really connect with Henry or the dad, I forget his name, Henry, um, right away. Like, I don't really necessarily care for his character. I'm more interested in kind of just the overall story. But I think it was well paced. It was well shot. And I'm interested to see where it goes.
Odina was so disgusted with herself for picking TB Karen as the MVP,
Literally
so she
plot twist.
took off a half a point.
Yes.
I love it. All right, everybody, strap in, put on a seatbelt. It's going to
Oh,
be a
come
bumpy
on.
ride right now because she is the wild card. We literally have no idea what she's going to say right now. Oh, I literally have no idea what she's going to say right now. Maddie Fitz, the mic is yours. How would you rate this episode? Question mark, question mark, question mark.
All right. Well, I am going to give it an 8.5 Muse pills. And a few different reasons than Adina just gave, but very relatable. I love the pacing. I adore the characters. I feel like I can really relate to the main character and just this family. Like, I feel like it's now they're relatable to, people in our, age group, people that are just living right now. We're not going back in time and stuff like that. And obviously the cinematography was just amazing. Like, we're talking red was a color that came up so often. Just that whole contrast of black and white and gray, and then this red. It was beautiful. The only reason I'm not giving it a 9 is because I can see the show doing so much more. And like, it's already set a high bar, clearly. And like, Jeffrey, you were saying on social media, people were blowing up saying this is the greatest premiere of AHS in a long time.
hmm
You know, it was definitely worth the wait. It's been so well received so far. So I have high hopes that it's going to keep going up. And especially, if Vinny and I's, theory is correct, I'm definitely going to be rating a lot higher. But like I said, the Festers, are bald-headed, skinny people in this town. I just thought were just too cliche, I couldn't figure out if they were zombies or if they were just, ventriloquists like that, were cracking their backs and stuff. Like, they had back problems. Like,
Yes, they were ventriloquists.
yeah, it was just a lot. And I felt like if I was in a town and I saw those people walking around, I would be calling like the CDC. You know what I mean? I wouldn't just be like, oh, they're just cracked out people. Like, no, 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 no. Like, this is much, like, too much. They don't have pointy teeth, and they don't always look the same either. Why are they all bald? Why do they all have trench coats on? You know what I mean? So besides that, yeah, a solid 8.5. I expect so much from the show. It was so well paced. It's just the story itself is so interesting. We've seen, I don't know how many movies of, oh, a writer goes to like an abandoned house on an island somewhere up north, and then shit hits the fan, right? So I like that idea. I like that whole plot, and the fact that there's something going on in this town is really interesting to me. So yeah, I'm excited.
Okay. This is fascinating because we're sort of split in the middle right now. We have 2 for 9s, 2 for 8.5s. Let's be real, it's just half a point. So it's not like it's, that big of a difference.
Oh, come on.
I'm approving of everyone's justifications. Very nice. Everyone's thorough. Everybody decided to write in their journals for their explanations for their rating. I like it. I do agree with 2 of you, and those 2 are the 9s. I'm going to give it a 9 as well.
What?
Yes. 9 gang. Yes.
And night.
Yes. 9-9. Yes. I'm gonna give it a 9. I thought it was a very good premiere. It really was captivating. The visuals were stunning. The acting was on point. As I said, everybody came to play. Everyone understood the assignment. It was a really good premiere. I was sucked into this little world, and listen. I will say I have enjoyed American Horror Story. Have there been great seasons? Yes. Have there been okay seasons? Yes. I don't think I've ever really hated a season. There might be a season I won't revisit. Cult. But for the most part, I do enjoy American Horror Story, but I will agree this is a return to form. So I will give it 9 Muse pills as well. Please take them as prescribed. Don't take them all at one time. Join us next time for a brand new installment of Are You Afraid? Double Feature, Part 1, Red Tide. Here's our announcer to remind you on how you can interact with us.
Follow Poppy Chula Radio on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, at Poppy Chula Radio. Do you have any questions, suggestions, comments, or concerns? Email us via contact@poppychularadio.com. Are you interested in joining the Poppy Chula Radio team as an on-air personality? Email talent@poppychularadio.com. Binge listen to your favorite Poppy Chula Radio programs by visiting poppychularadio.com/archives. You can also download tonight's broadcast and the rest of the series through Apple Podcasts and Google Play. Just search for Are You Afraid? Double Feature. And subscribe.
Thanks, announcer. My co-hosts, please wish the listeners a good night, starting off with Maddie Fitz, the controversial Maddie Fitz.
Oh, come on. I'm going to be painted in some red paint, I think, after this episode. But good night, everybody. See you next time. And sleep tight. Lock your doors.
Odina.
Good night, everybody. Hopefully you don't see any strange men standing outside your window.
Oh, I mean, it depends on if it's your thing. Priscilla, you might be into it.
Good night, everybody. Don't take any strange pills from strange people.
And Vinnie.
We rely on each other. Goodbye.
Oh, our next American Idol. I love it. Thanks for tuning in. Download new episodes of Are You Afraid? Double Feature, Part 1, Red Tide, every Friday via Apple Podcasts, Google Play, and the Poppy Chula Radio archives. Good night.